Hi everybody, welcome back to D-Town TV, the free weekly show for DSLR shooters. My name is Matt Kloskowski.
And I'm RC, and I'm getting very used to seeing you here.
I shaved
cool.
RC.
Hey, this is good.
You shaved.
You know what? It's one of those things where
Somebody wrote in, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's the only reason I said it.
It's the one thing where people are like, RC should shave, and I'm like, you know what? You should pay attention to the camera tutorials.
Yeah, it's not about shaving and haircuts.
See, I like you, Gruff.
Yeah, this is too. Okay, don't even. So RC shaved, and I forgot to shave today.
No, I think you look good. Snazzy.
Oh man,
Snazzy.
that's a great way to start the show.
All right, but
quick tip.
We're talking about a couple of different things.
Okay.
We're going to talk about kind of going through lighting setups, and I wanted to use Corey to be able to do that, and you're doing something on compositing.
The best, if you're going to shoot for extraction, I was going to talk about the best background that you want to shoot on.
Cool, quick, easy. Now, take a look at this. I got a couple questions on Twitter and on Google Plus and things like that. They were talking about beauty dishes versus soft boxes, and that got me into the concept of fall off. And I said, you know what? Let's just do an entire shoot from start to finish, and let me show you what I mean. This is Corey with a softbox, right?
Corey didn't shave today either.
Corey didn't shave today either. So there's the entire softbox concept is just big, soft, diffuse light to be able to hit a face. So the more diffuse and the more closer that it is, the softer it's going to be. But the softbox has what they call a wraparound quality. So because it's so big, you'll notice that right here on this portion of the face, the quality is very, very soft. But his ear, the transition from here to here, is relatively soft. So big light source, diffuse light source, that's what it does. If you go into a beauty dish environment, what happens with the beauty dish is that the beauty dish has a very, very hot center component. And then it kind of tapers off. But the fall off of that can be a little dramatic.
Yeah.
Right? So you'll notice that in this case, right, nice hot white center, and then all of a sudden you'll start noticing that the bit of the ear starts getting a lot darker. Now, if you start combining more and more stuff to that, like I like to shoot with a grid on top of a beauty dish, it makes it even further down.
Yeah, that's even, I mean, it's more directional because the grid really keeps it from even, from spreading out any further.
Right, so it tightens up that light, and then all of a sudden, by having a real much tighter light, the fall off becomes even more significant. So when you're playing with these kinds of things, and then not only that, but I mean, if you start taking a look at these things, you'll notice that the catch lights that you have right here are very, very circular, which a lot of the times people dig. But more often than not, if you're shooting with a tight source, fall off is going to be a big issue, right? So you'll notice you can't see where the back of Corey's head is right here. What I like to be able to do is I like to be able to add a kicker, or a light that kicks him off the background. But sometimes it just kind of, you get bored with it. So what I usually tell people is gel backlights. If you gel a backlight, it's just literally you put a sheet of a gel of a specific color, tape it onto the light, and you'll get something that looks a little bit different. So this will accent this, and it doesn't necessarily solve the problem of kicking him per se, although it does. You can see where the back of the head is. It offers something a little bit different. Move it further. You'll take a look. I just repositioned him here. Now I'm looking for an accent light over here on this side, so I throw on a third light. By having a third light, this is just different posing changes that I had him do, because you should always try different poses. There's a light. It's a little brighter. That light is also gridded.
Yeah.
Because I don't want that light to go all over the place and hit the front of the face. See, this is a little too much here.
Yeah.
But if I tone that down, now he's there. So now I have 3 lights.
Right? And some separation too now.
And some separation. So it gives it a little bit more depth. So once I get him there, what I usually like to do is just try a whole bunch of different poses. I'll start in one spot. So like, for example, I'll start here, take a shot, move up a little bit, take a shot, move up a little bit, take a shot, move up a little bit, take a shot. And you continue to be able to do that until you find a good side for them, right? Because a lot of the times it's like, well, do this. You hit it, and then you go back and you look at it and like, that sucked. So play with
And let me just tell you, this never works for me.
Really?
That pose on me, it just,
Yeah,
you
I do
just
this.
can't see me.
But I play with the angles, and I do that kind of stuff, and I move people in very, very small increments. You'd be surprised as to how small increments will help with that. So once I find him exactly where I need him, so I'll notice, here we go. So we start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not good. That's beauty right there, magic. But let me just show
That's
you
how most of my photos turn out.
But let me just show you what it looks like, right? So that was beauty dish. That was the accent light by itself. That's them together, but you'll notice that there's not a lot of variety in the background.
Yeah.
By just lighting the background by itself, Gets you a cool setup. That's the one that I chose. A little bit of post-processing.
Nice little vignette on there.
Right? Right.
Works
a little
out
bit
good.
of an effect.
Yeah.
We do well.
So, and, one of the things you mentioned is catch lights, and so I think there's two schools of thought with that. The one thing I did want to say is if you look at the catch lights in the eye, just understand that when you're concentrating on that, the only people that care are other photographers. Now, if you're trying to please other photographers, then that's fine. Just understand the rest of the world does not care about the shape of the catch light in the eye.
Unless you use like a strip bank in the center and you look like a cat, and you're like, oh. But anyways, that's what you had. I wanted to kind of answer a whole bunch of questions in one spot. Differences between softboxes and beauty dishes, things to be able to keep in mind when you're doing backgrounds, and a little bit of posing stuff.
You mentioned that the questions came in Twitter, Facebook, Google+. So one of the things I thought we should mention, because we do quite a bit on Google+ these days, is I've got an account on Google+. I encourage you to circle me, add me to a circle. You can just go to mattgplus.com, and you're at rcgplus.com. Right. So you don't have to go to G+ and type in a name. You can just go to that URL, and it'll take you right to it.
Nice. All right. Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, you're going to talk to us a little bit about compositing.
Yep.
Best ways to be able to do compositing, prizes, and all sorts of cool stuff. So stick around.
Sounds good.
Composition. What is it? Does this work? What about this? Leading lines, rule of odds, the rule of thirds. Viewpoint, patterns, contrast, balance. Dead center is deadly. I'm Rick Salmon. I really hope you can join me for my latest class on Kelby training, Composition, the strongest way of seeing. I'll show you how to compose technically as well as emotionally.
That's you. That was your intro right there. No,
I already
don't worry
introed
about
the
it.
show.
I got it. I got this. Hey, wait.
We're a little
back.
rusty.
Welcome back to D-Town TV, the free show for DSL. Give me that.
No, I wanted to here.
All right.
We're back. Blah 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 blah. We're back.
Now it's time for you.
Now it's time to talk. Hey, before we talk about random photography stuff, which I know nobody cares about, I realize this is a photography show, but there's one thing that trumps the fact that this is a photography show, and that is our friend Corey Barker.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So Corey has written a book. It's called Photoshop Down and Dirty Tricks for Designers. Now, I know this is a photography show, but photographers need design.
Absolutely.
You need to have an eye for design. You're either, I mean, of course you got to be a great photographer, but you also have to know about layout. You have to know about how to make what you do as far as websites and logos and all these things look good. But Corey has just totally knocked it out of the park with this book. The Down and Dirty Tricks started as, it was almost like, it was photography and design tricks kind of all compiled into one. And I think what Corey did is Corey's kind of just said, I'm going to take a book totally for designers, because there is a market out there that, they need to figure out how to make things look good. And that's what Corey really concentrates on in this book. So.
And the one thing that I like about that is that a lot of the time, like even if you're a photographer and you're working with photography, you're going to need to be able to take the images that you've done and at some point or another package them and send them to somebody in a specific way. You're going to have to do a layout, a composite, a specific type of effect. You're going to have to add something to the picture. And I'm a big fan of diversification. If you could get a book that can teach you how to be able to take your images and combine it with very step-by-step design stuff and make something awesome, why wouldn't you do it? And I think that that's exactly where Corey is.
And then the one thing I'll leave you with is, just about everything inside of this book starts with a photo. I mean, with the exception of maybe a type effect or two and a logo, everything in the book starts with a photo. So if you think about it from that aspect, you're still using photos to do these design tricks. So make sure you check this out. We're going to give away a copy on the show. But
Corey's probably about the most in-depth person in Photoshop.
Oh yeah.
So it was just like, this is a good
He makes
book.
us feel like we don't know anything in Photoshop. So.
Like I should be using paint.
All right.
Anyway, but you wanted to talk a little bit about compositing, the compositing side of things.
Yeah, and so let's approach it from the topic of you're shooting with the purpose of knowing that this photo is going to be extracted from the background.
Right.
Okay. So a couple of tips on that. One of the first questions, and we talked about this during the break. One of the first questions that everybody usually asks is, should I shoot on green screen?
Yeah, that's right. Because a lot of the times, everything that you see in a movie standpoint or movie sets and things like that is always, it used to be blue screen, and now all of a sudden it's like green screen, or people used to call it chroma.
Yeah,
for the, for the
chroma
longest
key.
time. So, but you don't do green screen.
No, so green screen kind of developed from the video world, where in the video world, software is set up to pull people from green or from blue or whatnot. And green came up because people typically don't wear green. It's not a very flattering color on people. So
Keep that in mind.
see, black works out good. So green kind of came up that way, and it's for the video world because that's what their software is set up for.
Right.
If you're a photographer and you're shooting someone with the purpose of extracting them, Photoshop could care less what color the background is. Photoshop is not set up. It doesn't have a green screen extractor tool in it.
Right.
So Photoshop doesn't really care. So when it comes to photography, so let's go through the colors. Black. Let's get black out of the way first. Black is just a bad color. People wear a lot of black. Hence that.
That's all I have.
And so what you could say is well, typically we use lights to separate, like you did in your tutorial. The problem with that is if you looked back at Corey's hair, even though there was a kicker light on his hair, there's still areas of his hair that are dark that will fall off into the blackness. You'll never select a person off there because the detail just isn't there. So black's out. White is another good one. So white is actually really good. The problem I have with white is that in order to make a white backdrop, I point at this like this is a white backdrop.
We'll just assume.
And we have photo examples to go along with this. So if you look at the photo that shows up on screen, in order to make that white backdrop white, you have to point a light at it. What happens when you point a light at it? It reflects back. When it reflects back, it washes light around the person. It wraps around the person, which makes it difficult to place them somewhere else. If you're going to take them and put them into a dark scene, they're going to have all this light washing around, and it's just not going to look right.
Right.
Okay. So green, if you look at this photo here, we kind of have the same problems we had with white, where green light picks up the color, or light picks up the color of whatever it hits.
Right.
So if it hits green, it starts to wash green around the
So
person.
you start getting that green cast. It's almost, you'll look at it, it's like a green film that sits on top of the...
Yeah, it's like a little fringe that goes around. So you got to be careful about that because, again, you don't want to have to remove that. So you can solve this whole problem.
The best color?
Gray. Okay? I shoot people on a white backdrop, and I just don't point a light at it. If you don't point a light at a white backdrop, it falls to a natural gray. The further you pull them away from that backdrop, the darker that gray is going to get because whatever light's hitting them is going to fall off. So I just use a white backdrop. I let it fall to a natural gray, and that way, any accent lights that are white that happen to accent the person, those will be selected because they're going to be a different color than the gray. And then most of your clothes will be selected. Every once in a while, they'll be wearing something gray. It's still not a hard selection, and what we're concerned about are the hair and the details in the clothes, and those will work really good for gray.
Nice.
So
very, very cool.
that is
a quick taking
that's
you
my
through
story.
The color thing. I like that. I like because you know what? It's a lot of the times I think that when people are doing compositing, when you're just starting, it's like, well, what's the easiest thing? All right, well, hot pink or green, and do that, and you just kind of go down a path at the very, very beginning. That's not a good path for you to be able to do it.
Yeah.
That's a good tip. Another good tip, and he doesn't know that I'm going to do this, is Photoshop Compositing Secrets. His new book is phenomenal. You're knocking it out.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Amazon, best book, 2011.
Oh yeah.
So I thought that was cool. Congratulations.
Thank
on
you,
that.
thank
That
you.
was good. So it's a great book. If you're looking at compositing, and it's one of those things that it's important for you to be able to do that. In this space, because of weather and time and location and all that kind of stuff, you're gonna need some compositing chops. That book is gonna be the best book for you to be able to do
Thank
that.
you.
Contest time.
Contest time. Okay, so we're going to give away Corey Barker's Photoshop Down and Dirty Tricks for Designers book, and we keep pulling stuff.
Right, there's tons of stuff down here. A bottle of Windex.
Bottle of Windex and a clamp.
Okay, that's enough. You can give them a clap. That's it.
All right. How about we'll give away On1 Software's Perfect Suite 6. So this is brand new.
Right.
This is like totally brand new. On1 to me has done something pretty revolutionary where they have created a standalone product where it's got retouching, resizing, special effects, selections, layers, focal point, photo frames, all this kinds of stuff. It's got it all inside of one suite.
In one package.
One
That's it.
package. So definitely want to check that out. We will give away a copy to
a person that's going to go to our website. Make sure you go to kelbytv.com/DTownTV. Leave a comment, right? Tell us what you want to be able to see next season. This is the last show for this season.
I know.
So-
Season went quick.
This is episode 99. Number 100.
100 coming up.
Next season. So leave us a comment. Tell us what you want to be able to see next season. Tell us what kinds of things you want to be able to see, right? Start a petition. Bring back Matt. We need to see you more.
Oh,
here.
come on more.
All right,
I'm
cool.
here.
I know.
See, I
you're like
care.
down the hall. You do. It's from right here. It's from right here. But leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. And we'll, if we have stuff, we'll let you know. We'll tell you, hey, look, you know, so-and-so chimed in this tip. So-and-so sent this stuff on G+. So interact. This is your show. We want to hear from you guys. But we'll pick one of those people.
Cool.
Easy enough?
Sounds good to me.
All right, man.
We're done?
4 weeks? Yeah.
4
we're done.
weeks. Well, hey guys,
I don't know how long it is, and don't quote me.
it's 4 weeks-ish, but in this 4 weeks are going to be the holidays. So first off, happy holidays to everybody. Hope you have a very, very safe and happy holiday, and I hope you buy me lots of presents.
Nice. So if you want to follow us, G+RC,
MattGplus.com.
we'll see you guys.
Yeah, one of those. You know, they'll appear on the bottom of the screen, we hope.
We'll see you guys next season. Take care.
care.